Soviet is actually a brilliant trader who has learned a lot from experience of going from discretionary trade from discretionary trading over to a system-based trading. And in his years of experience, he has decided to share what he's doing in Dravyaniti Consulting LLP.
So first of all, namaste, all of you, and be safe, be at home in this scenario. Okay, and this is of course for charity. What we are doing it, so you can do the charity to the Sumaya Ayur Vihar or to the Child Help Foundation, organized by Chart Summit India. And special thanks to JC Parrott and Ayush for organizing this, and of course CMT Association. Okay, so I'll begin with my presentation. My name is Sovit Manjani. I'm a CMT and a co-founder and head trading strategy at Dhamniti LLP. And I'll be talking about our Fortitude trading strategy, which I developed around 2 years back, and I follow it. Uh, so first, I'll define the strategy. Fortitude trading strategy is a long only strategy. Means that we will not take any short trades. We only take long signals in this strategy, and we will be taking signals based on relative strength. Relative strength is not the basic RSI, which we all know. As Gautam has made my life easier, he has explained you what is relative strength comparison. So we are using basically the relative strength comparison, which is also called the ratio analysis. Okay, and what it does, it compares stocks with index. In our case, it will be Nifty 50. Okay, and then we also see for dull markets. We are not entering in the market which is active and which is like rising 5, 5, 10, 10% percent. We want to enter when the market is dull. Okay, and why will be entering in the dull market, that will be sharing you. And the exit signal will be generated again based on relative strength. As soon as the relative strength is no longer strong, we'll exit, or if the volatility increases in the opposite direction. In our case, it will be on a downside. If the volatility increases, then we'll exit the position. Okay. So little bit about what Dravniti does is that we manage portfolio of strategies. We basically believe in non-quoted strategies, and we trade in cash, futures, and options for proprietary desks, family offices, high net individuals, and ultra high net individuals. We also handle execution in fully automated mode. We are constantly developing new strategies, and we conduct trainings for algorithmic trading, technical analysis, fundamental analysis. We do a workshop for systematic trading and Python development, and we coach for all three levels of CMT. And we organize an annual event called Algo Convention, where all algo enthusiasts come together all over the world under one roof to share their ideas and networking. For more about us, you can go to dravniti.com or algoconvention.com. You'll get all the details of what we do. So now we come back to the strategy. To design any strategy, there has to be a fixed objective. If you are designing a strategy without a clear objective, it will be very difficult for you to know when to stop putting filters into a strategy. So the objective for this strategy was very clear, that we just want to make 25 to 30% annualized return, and we don't want to go into small caps or like a lower level mid caps. We want to be in large caps and maybe a few large mid caps. Okay, we all the rules are fixed, and we have to follow the rules. Entry exits all are have full fixed rules, and we as a trader, we do not want to take more than 20 to 25% risk. That was very clear, that we want to reduce our risk to maximum 20 or 25%. We don't want to go beyond that. Okay. And to trade, and this was very clear, that we want to trade on daily close basis. We don't want to do intraday, and we don't want to see the chart intraday. We will be getting the data at the evening at around 6 o'clock, and we will be running the strategy at 6 o'clock for five. It will take hardly 5 minutes to run this strategy, and whatever signal comes in, whether the new buy signal comes or a exit signal comes, we will be executing it in the next day morning at 9:15. Maximum 5 minutes it will take to execute, and that's it. We are not looking the charts the rest of the time. We need only 10 minutes of time every day to run this strategy, and the purpose was to that our money should work for us. We have worked enough. Now our money should work for us, and we should be free to do whatever we are doing on our daily routine. Okay. The concept of relative strength, which Gautam has already presented, so it is easier for me. Okay. If you see, this is a chart of Tata Motors, and here Tata Motors is rising and Nifty is also rising. So you can see the relative strength comparison is rising, or it is flattish, but it is still higher. Here you can see Tata Motors fell, Nifty also fell, but the Tata Motors stock fell more than Nifty. That is why relative strength came down. In this case, if you see, Nifty was rising, but the Tata Motors stock was falling, and you can see that the relative strength was falling continuously. Okay, so this is what relative strength does, is that it keeps us out of those stocks which are not trending at that time, or which are weak. Okay, I won't say not trending, but the stocks which are weak. We don't want to be in stocks like Tata Motors. Okay, and what we do here is that we don't take a normal RS line, because if you see, this line will be different for each stock, because the price of Tata Motors is around say 400, and Nifty is around 10,000 levels. So the ratio will be like extremely small. So we want to convert this into something which is universal, which can be used for say more number of stocks, like 3,000 stocks in Nifty, sorry, in NSE. So to do that, what we have done is we've converted this into an RSI. What we have done is that RSI indicator, I hope everybody knows about it. Okay. So we have, in RSI has close as an input. Instead of close, we have taken the ratio of the stock to the Nifty. That is Nifty stock divided by Nifty, and that we have put it in place of closing price. Okay, so this has given us a indicator which oscillates between 0 to 100. Okay, and if you see 50 line is the midpoint. So if the stock is strong, then it will be above 50. If the stock is weak, if you see Tata Motors is weak, it remains below 50. What I've done is I've marked it, I've colored it so that below 50 it is marked red, above 50 it is marked green or blue. Why green, why blue? That I'll be explaining as we go forward. Okay. So what are the parameters for this? The hypothesis of this is that outperformance of a stock against the index is a sign of underneath strength. Right? If the stock is outperforming, if the stock is rising and the index is falling, it is an outperformance, and we want to be in such a stock. If it is possible that the relative strength is still rising, but the stock is falling, because the stock is falling less than Nifty. Okay, so that is also possible. So what this strategy does is it can give you counter trend increase also. It will give you increase in a trend also. It will give you trend increase against the trend also. Since the stock is outperforming the market, although the stock is fallen, it can still give you an entry. Okay. So we consider 65-day RSI of RS. So instead of 14-day RSI, we are using a 65-day RSI. Why 65? Because 65 represents approximately 1 quarter. Okay. And as RSI is in percentage, that 50 is the midpoint. Okay. So below 50, the stock will be weak. So our exit signal will be below 50, and our entry signal will be, or the bullish signal will be above 56 level. So if the stock RSI of RS goes above 56 level, it will fulfill our first condition of relative strength. Here is a example. This is a chart of Bajaj Finance. Okay. Here you can see that the RSI went above 56, and there was a RSI signal has been confirmed. Here, from here till here, the RSI signal is confirmed that this signal is done. Okay, we will take a long signal because it never went after going to 50. It never went below 50. So our first condition is fulfilled here. Then we go to the second condition, which is we are identifying a dull market. Okay, and the rules of the dull market is basic premises is that low volume indicates less interest in the stock. Okay, so we just take a simple 5-day moving average of volume and a 10-day simple average of volume, and this 5-day simple average of volume should be less than the 10-day simple moving average of volume. That's it. Okay, it's as simple as that. But the only difference here is that the 5-day which we take for the simple moving average should be different. That is, the 10 days moving average should not include these 5 days data. Okay, there should not be an overlapping data, because what this will do is this will give us a contra signal. We don't want a contra signal. If the volume is low in the last 5 days and the volume has to be high in the 10 days before these 5 days, okay, then our signal is fulfilled. Okay, and here's an example of that. Okay, again, the Bajaj Finance, if you see here, the signal fulfilled here. Okay, the volume signal was fulfilled here, but our buy came here because of the third rule, which we'll be discussing later. Okay, so I hope this is clear. The 5-day moving average of volume should be less than the 10-day moving average of volume. Okay, we don't want to enter in a high volatile and high like extremely trending or moving stock. We don't want to do that. Okay, and then the third criteria is that less volatility. So we want to enter when the markets are less volatile. Basic hypothesis is that high volatility is a sign of high emotion. Okay, and low volatility is a sign of calmness and patience. Okay, so commercials do not invest based on emotions. Commercials invest when they have a fixed reason, have a strong reason to invest. Okay, they just don't. They will not get up one day and say, "I want to invest in this stock." Okay, they have a reason for it. Okay, and they will always invest slowly. Okay, volatility has the characteristic of mean reversion. That is, it expands when after contracting. So whenever the volatility contracts, after that it may expand. Again, there's a simple rule here is that we take a 3-day ATR, we multiply this by 1.5, and this should be less than the 20-day ATR. That is 3-day ATR multiplied by 1.5. That should be less than 20-day ATR. As simple as that. Why we take 3-day? Because it's half of a week. Okay, and 20 is like 1 month. That's why. Okay. Here also we follow the same rule that this 3 days should not be a part of this this ATR. Okay, this ATR should be separate, and this ATR should be separate. This should not overlap. The data should not overlap, because then it will distort the data, and this will not give you correct signals. Okay. Identifying less volatile market. Again, now this condition we are seeing, that is 3-day ATR and 20-day ATR. You can see that the 3-day ATR condition was fulfilled here, and our buy signal came here. Okay. Then we come to the trailing stop loss criteria. Okay. The hypothesis because of this is that as we are entering a low volatility stock, when the market is less volatile, okay, the best exit would be if the volatility increases in the opposite direction. Okay. So we take the trailing stop loss, which the trailing stop loss figures when the price closes below 3.1 ATR value from the 10-day period highest high. So what we take is we take the 10 days highest high, okay, and we plot 3.1 ATR below that. Okay, so this green line is the candle exit of 3.1 ATR. Okay, it's plotted for the latest highest high of 10 days. And here you can see our exit came in when the stock closed below this. Next day open, we will exit. So next day open, the price was 4,055, and we exited on that day. Again, there was a losing trade also here. Okay. Now, putting it all together of the strategy. Okay. The ATR condition is got fulfilled here, the volume condition fulfilled here, and the RS condition fulfilled here. The buy signal was triggered here. The sell signal was triggered here because of the Chandelier exit. Okay. The other parameters of this strategy are that we tested it with a 30 lakhs capital, and we tested it on a 19-year data. Okay, with slippages and commission of around 0.3% on each side. Okay, maximum open position we took was around 20. Okay, that means that we put only 5% of our capital in each trade. We don't risk more than 5% of our capital in one trade. Okay, trade only, and then we take trade only on top 300 highest turnover stocks in the past 300 days. So here what we do is that we take the 300-day moving average of turnover. Turnover is nothing but volume multiplied by price. We multiply volume with price, and we take a 300-day moving average of that, and we rank stocks based on that. Okay, so we take the top 300 stocks which are fulfilling this condition. So we are not going into the small caps or mid caps. Okay, we are mostly into the top 300 stocks which are at that time liquid. Okay, and we tested this on 3060 stocks on listed on National Stock Exchange, which includes defunct and delisted stocks. Okay, because when we are testing on a 19-year horizon, there will be many stocks which are being delisted. Okay, so we need to take care of that, because at that time, if I was running this system on in 2007, there would be a lot of stocks which are not there now, but they will be there at that time. So the signals would have come in at that time. So we need to know what happened at that time. Okay. Then we are using the daily data from Vinatech. The profits are reinvested. Dividends we are not accounted. We have not taken dividends into account because the data doesn't give dividend detail. So the returns will be even higher if we consider dividend. Okay. And idle capital, since we have seen that most of the time the system will have, we'll see it in future as we see here, that only 55% of the time we are invested. So the balance of the time we invest in a 10-year government security bonds. We can take, instead of 10-year bonds, we can also take liquid Bs, because liquid Bs is not, the value doesn't changes. So for testing we took 10-year government bonds, but in reality you can put your money into liquid Bs at that time when there is no signal or very few signals. Okay, and then in case of delisting, we exit at the closing price of the delisting day. Whichever day the stock got delisted, we are considering that closing price as an exit, okay, because some stocks will get delisted. Okay. And if the stock hits a circuit, then the exit is on only when the circuit opens. Because there can be times that there can be 5% circuits, we know that. So if that happens, then we will be exiting only when the circuit opens. That all has been taken care in the back test. Okay. So these are the results of the strategy. Okay, the initial capital we started was with 30 lakhs. Okay, and the ending capital is around 25 crores, 84 lakhs. The net profit is 25 crores. Remember that this is a back test of 19 years. Okay, so don't get fooled by the big numbers. Okay, exposure is only 55%, and the annualized return is 26% CAGR. Transaction costs are around 3 crores and 12 lakhs. Okay, and there were around 1400 trades in this system since 2001. Okay. The maximum drawdown of the system is only 18%. Okay, recovery factor is 8.15. Car to max drawdown is 1.4, which is extremely good. Anything above 1 is good. Profit factor is 2.03, payoff ratio is 2.19, Sharpe ratio is 0.53. Average profit per trade is 6.62%. That means that each trade which we take, we make a profit of 6.5% approximately. And the average holding period of all the trades is around 40 days. That is 40 bars. The winners are around 48% and losers are 52%. Average winner is around 22%, and the average loser is around 7.5%, which is like 1:3 ratio. Okay. Average number of bars hold is 56 days for winners and 24 days for losers. Max consecutive losers are 14, and max consecutive losers are 15, and max consecutive winners are 11. Okay. The highest number of bars for the winner is 140, and the number of bars for the biggest loss is 33. Okay. This is the equity curve of the system. Okay, see how smooth it is. Of course, some part is there because of the G-Sec bonds. Okay, and this is the drawdown. Maximum drawdown came in 2004, and many times it has hit more than 14% or 12% drawdown. And here is the most important slide for me. Okay, if you see, all years have been profitable except 2 years, that is 2008 and 2011. Okay, and 2008 this strategy gave a loss of only 1%, and 2011 it was 7%. But intra-year it had a maximum drawdown of around 18%. Even if I don't take the interest factor, then also the maximum drawdown is only 21%. Okay, this is the top profit distribution of the trades, and this is not a holy grail, of course. These are the top 40 losers. You can see MRPL was a loser of 40%, and then we have a 32% loser, 28% loser. Okay, we'll be talking about the losers. MRPL, you can see the chart. The entry came at 137 and the exit came at 84. Okay, this was almost 40% loser. Monsanto 32% loser. 32% loser. Buy came at 266. Exit came at 182. Okay. Welspun India. Buy came at 477 and exit came at 345. It was a 28% loser. Then 40 biggest winners are the biggest winner was RNRL. If you remember in 2007 2008 it was the most talked about stock. It gave a rate of 486%. Then Gati in 2014 379%. Okay, Cient Manappuram Finance. Okay, and if you see almost 17 stocks gave more than 100% return, and 40 stocks gave more than 65% return. Okay, so these can take care easily of your losses and losing trades. Okay, RNRL entry came at 35 rupees and exit came at 209. Gati entry came at 57, exit came at 277. Manappuram in 2016 buy came at 32, exit came at 88. Tata Consumer, these are the recent winners. Tata Consumer Product, which was recently known as Tata Global, entry came as 270 and exit was at 364 just before this call. SRF entry came at 3,200, exit came at 4,000. Lux Industries, this is the recent loser. Entry came at 1,486 and the exit came at 1,410. DLF entry came at 239. 229 and the exit at 230, only 1 rupee loser. Okay, these are the current open trades. Two of them are around 12% winner. Mishra Dhatu entry came at 178. Whirlpool entry has come at 183. Before that, there was a winning trade here. Okay. Muthoot Finance entry came at 620. You can see it has outperformed Nifty. Okay. But before that, there was a winning trade in Manappuram. Then Atul Limited entry has come as 402. India Cement entry has come as 104. Okay. These are some of the essentials before making any good system. This system doesn't need to be automated or fully rule based. If you follow these rules, even as a discretionary trader, you'll do a great job. Okay, cut your losers fast. That means time wise your losses should be small. Okay, and small losses means you take less smaller losses. That is because if you lose 20%, you will have to make 25% to come back to your original capital. Okay, so you have to make sure that your losses are not big. Make sure that you don't lose big in any of your trades. Okay, and let your winners grow. Okay, if you are in a winning trade, then let it grow. Trailing stocks help you a lot to let your winners get bigger and bigger. Okay. Then always use trailing stop losses. Less exposure. Less exposure is important because you understand that the lesser you are exposed, the lesser is the risk of price shocks. Like what happened in the recent 2 months, it was a price shock. For some people, it may not be a price shock, but for many people, it was a price shock. So lesser you have exposure at such situations, the better it would be. Okay. Always have limited position size. Like, if you are over leveraged and if your size is too big, then your emotions will come into play. Okay, so don't try to be rich in 1 month or year. Okay, that is not going to happen. Your aim should be to to be a consistent trader, not to be a fast making big money in 1 month or 2 months. Okay, and follow law of large numbers. Don't finalize a strategy by seeing 10 trades, 20 trades, 100 trades. Okay, if you are making any strategy, see at least 500 trades. Okay, this is a biggest crime people do is that the crime of small numbers, that they see only 3, 4, 5, 10 trades and think that this system is great, this methodology is good. Okay, you cannot judge a methodology by seeing 10 trades. You have to see more than 500 trades. Okay, then you should not have concentrated profits. Okay, it should not happen that most of the profits are coming from 10, 15 trades. Okay, the more distributed is your profits, the better it is. Okay, and always test your system on multiple symbols. Okay, even if I am developing a system on Nifty, I will test it on multiple indices. Obviously, index will be different from symbols, so I cannot test a symbol made a system made on index or tested on stocks. But I can test it on multiple indices like Dow Jones, S&P 500, FTSE, DAX. Okay, I can test it on multiple indices. So I prefer to do that before deploying it on a single index like Nifty or Bank Nifty. Okay. A special thanks to Ed Sigota. He is a market wizard and helped me a lot in building my psychology. Wells Felder, creator of RSI. Perry Kaufman, I've read his books almost like at least 10 times, and I'm a great fan of his work. I'm CMT Association. Whatever I am right now is because of CMT Association. Okay, Charles Kirkpatrick. I've been like I started on reading books of Charles Kirkpatrick and Martin Pring in the CMT syllabus. So that was, and the idea actually of this idea system came from Charles Kirkpatrick work and Martin Pring's work. Okay. Disclaimer: investing or trading using algorithms is not free from market technology and other risks. Understanding the risk and drawdowns of an algorithm are necessary. Algorithm performance of the past does not guarantee future performance. Any performance statistics are based on historical data and may or may not be repeated in future.
Thank you so much, Sovit. I'm sure many people are very happy to learn about such strategies that can take less time and still give you good, dependable returns over a long period of time. So, thank you so much for sharing this.